Hey guys, welcome back to Stag voiceover. My name's Neil Glasgow, and in today's video I'm going to go over part 1 of a 3-part series on where exactly you need to look to find voiceover work. In part 1 and 2 I'm going to go over various free websites that you can sign up for and get auditions through, and in part 3 I'm going to be going through some of the big hitters in the pay-to-play space. So, let's get into it. So when looking for voiceover work, one of the things that you have to learn and understand is exactly what type of niche that you want to fit into. Now, if you're following along with this series, chances are you're just starting out in voiceover, so you might not know what your niche is. So I'd recommend casting that net far and wide. Don't pigeonhole yourself right now. I'm going to go through some free sites and what we call pay-to-play sites. I won't go into specific reviews, I'll do that in another video, but for right now I'm just going to give you some general advice of where to look to find different auditions, what they're looking for, some of the free and paid work that comes along with that, and I'll come back to free work in a moment. These are things that you really need to break your teeth on, to cut your skin on. That's the wrong thing to say. Things that you really need to learn to get good at voiceover, to find out what the best marketplace for you is going to be. Now, I'm going to start off with a place called Casting Call Club. Now, Casting Call Club is largely, and I say largely, a fan-based voiceover site. So these are people that are into fan fiction, cartoons, anime, that sort of stuff. I remember when I started doing something for a Thomas the Tank Engine fan fiction. And essentially, it's full of lots and lots of auditions. Some are paid. We're talking relatively low amounts, anything from $5, maybe up to $50. I've even seen a few at $100. But largely, these are free projects that you might want to get involved with. And if you're afraid of doing free work, particularly when you're starting out in voiceover, again, you maybe need to rethink getting into voiceover. The way that you learn and the way that you build a repertoire is actually doing these pro bono jobs. And again, it's about building contacts and about building a network. So Casting Call Club is a really good site to get onto it. What it will also give you is the opportunity to listen to other auditions that have been made for the same roles that you're going for. And it's a really interesting exercise to understand and to hear the quality of recording that comes out. I've done a few recordings on there before. I still dip in and out as well. I find those projects quite fun. And in listening to my competitors' audio quality, you can tell that there may be in a large room, you can tell that they're not on a particularly good mic perhaps, and that's not to critique, that's where people start out, that's where you go and learn. But it's a good tuning exercise for yourself for when you are listening to your auditions to make sure that you've got the best sound that you possibly can. So Casting Call Club, a really great website, it's really supportive, a really great community. Get involved in that. That's a great place to start building particularly your character repertoire. The next site I want to talk to you about is one called Freelancer. Now, Freelancer is a global network. It's essentially designed at not just voiceover, at any freelance contractor skill set. Jobs are posted on Freelancer. You are allowed to apply for those jobs. They may be $8 through to $10,000. I'm going to say dollars a lot in this because a lot of these sites are North American focused, despite the fact that they have the global reach. You submit your proposal for the job, you can put in links to drop boxes, you can put in links to work that you might have done, and that gets sent off to the client, and the client can respond or not. Be conscious of the jobs that you are applying for are relevant for your particular skill set. Now, you might hear people are looking for American voices, British voices, and they might have a very particular thing that they have in mind. So it's worth clarifying with the client just to make sure that they know, that they understand that you've read their requirement and that you've sent it over. And the pay amounts on Freelancer are quite interesting. I've seen ones that range from, I will pay $8 through to $500 in the same advert. And you might want to put your bid in at $250, and the person responds to you and they tell you they've actually only got a budget of $12. The marketplace can work like that sometimes. So just be conscious. But again, when you're just starting out, all work is good work. Even, as I've said before, free work. It's all about experience. It's all about learning. And again, when you're going up for the bigger and better jobs, it's good to be able to have some paid work under your belt. The next one that I'll talk about is one of the big boys when it comes to the free profiles, and that's Fiverr. Fiverr is one of those sites that started a few years ago, and their big hook was any job for a $5. That's not quite the case now. If you're just starting out on Fiverr, start at $5. That's how you build your base. But there are lots and lots of voiceover artists out there now that charge $250, $500 plus dollars. It's one of those sites where you can say, I will do X amount of words for $5. I will do the next 1,000 words for $10. I'll do 2,000 words in a day, whatever that might be. You can customize what they call gigs to promote your abilities. Now, Fiverr's a really great site to get jobs from, but it's also a really flooded site with talent. It's a very difficult site to get a footing in and to start being successful. Fiverr has a tier system that goes from new seller to level 1 to level 2, and I think to pro seller. I don't think it has a level 3. And when you get to pro seller, the more you do, the more opportunity you get. And they've got quite a nice function where you can go to buyer requests. People will post a requirement for a voiceover. Again, they might range from $5 to a couple of $100, but they'll have a very specific requirement. I see a lot of sort of Indian and Southeast Asian requirements coming through for people who can speak Urdu, things like that. But you have 10 bids per day that you can apply for. And again, that means that you can get your details out there, as well as people having the opportunity to come and find you. The next one I'll go into is a website called Mandy.com. Now, Mandy is one of those hybrids. It has a paid function and it has a free version. I'll just talk about the free version. For, I think, 30 days, you can sign up to Mandy.com, and it's a site where people will post real, fairly well-paying jobs on their site that you can apply for. You fill out your profile, you put a couple of samples up there, you make your recordings. Some require auditions, some just require samples to be sent in. But again, it's people from all over the world looking for professional voiceover work. And this is a really great site to have, particularly in 2020, as most of their requirements come with a requirement of having a home studio, which, if you've watched my series so far, links above, there it is. You will know that this is really the time to start having your home studio. And I've gone into how to start looking at that in a previous video. Definitely go and check that out. So Mandy.com, again, a really good website, has a 30-day free trial. The paid option I'll go into in a different video. It's a good site, and I definitely recommend having Mandy on your radar. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you like this video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. If there's any free website that I haven't talked about in today's video, please mention them in the comments below. I'll make sure to do an in-depth review on that website in the coming videos. Remember, you can absolutely be a voiceover artist. I'll see you in the next video.